Junior high was when I first started learning Spanish. I remember being so excited that I went home and I told my mom that I wanted to be a linguist. I wanted to learn as many languages as I possibly could. However, as the years went on and the classes got harder and the language got more complicated to learn, we started dropping off like flies. I started becoming more focused on other things and less motivated to study the language. After high school, I stopped taking language classes altogether, and I started forgetting everything I had learned during those years of junior high and high school. One day, I decided to serve a mission, and I was called to the Argentina Bahia Blanca mission, where I was able to learn the Spanish language. And I still had that desire to learn another language, so I was so excited to have this opportunity. Going to the MTC, I was a little intimidated, learning a language in 6 weeks, but I was able to do it. And I was able to master that language throughout my mission. And now coming home, I'm grateful to say that I am fluent in Spanish. And it has blessed my life a lot. However, I still ask myself every now and then, what would have happened if I had started learning Spanish earlier on? What would have happened if I started learning language in elementary school? Would it have been easier to learn? My family took in exchange students all through high school from Germany and from Thailand, and I had the same question for each and every one of them. When did you start learning English? And they each said the same thing, that they started learning English at a young age. And so I did a little research, and I found out that most of Europe and 20 other countries require their students to learn another language, to learn a second language during their time in school. As you can see by this map, this is a map of most of Europe. The countries that are in yellow require their students to learn a second language, and the countries in green require their students to learn even up to a third language. That's over 90% of Europe. And the ages at which they learn these languages, a majority of them start learning between the ages of 6 and 10. And Belgium even starts teaching their students a second language by the age of 3. So as they're learning that first language, they're also learning their second, and they're learning them at the same time. Here in the US, only 25% of American adults self-report speaking a language other than English, according to the 2006 General Social Survey. Of those who know a second language, 43% said that they can speak that language very well. Less than half are fluent. 89% of all those who speak another language acquired these skills in the childhood home, as in they had parents or relatives who spoke that language and they were able to learn it as they were growing up in their home, compared with 7% citing school as their main setting for language acquisition. 7% is a very low number. Our school systems are not putting enough importance on teaching students a second language, and I think that we really need to raise this number because learning a second language has so many benefits, including understanding grammar, being able to travel, and finding jobs. And here are some more of my reasons why I believe it is so important that our school systems need to increase the importance that they put on learning a second language. Reason number 1, a child's mind. According to an article by Penn State, for a child, learning language is part of their brain chemistry. They are literally built to absorb information. They do this in an unconscious state of mind, like they're learning and they don't even know it. We've heard before that it's easier for a young child to learn a second language than it is for an adult. And so I believe that if kids start learning this second language at a young age, they'll really be able to pick it up and they'll be able to keep it for life. Reason number 2, understanding grammar, and this is my personal testimony. While I was in the MTC, learning Spanish helped me to understand English more. I started learning more about noun clauses, adjective clauses, and I could point them out a lot faster than I did before I entered the MTC. And I believe that making those connections between English and another language can really help children not only to know 2 languages, obviously, but also to understand our first language even better. Reason number 3, finding jobs. A recent survey found that nearly 9 out of 10 headhunters in Europe, Latin America, and Asia say that being at least bilingual is critical for success in today's business environment, and 66% of North American recruiters agreed that being bilingual will be increasingly important in the next 10 years. So not only is it important to know another language if you're going to work outside of the country, but they're saying that even here in the US, it is becoming increasingly more important. And not only in finding jobs, but in how much money you receive from those jobs. Research from Rosetta Stone found that people who speak at least one foreign language have an average annual household income that's $10,000 higher than the household income of those who only speak English. And about 17% of those who speak at least one foreign language earn more than $100,000 a year. So that is a great raise in pay. My next reason is travel. I was able to travel through Europe to Germany, Italy, Austria, and Switzerland, and I really enjoyed my time there. I have a lot of really good memories. But some of my favorite moments were when we were in parts of those countries where nobody spoke English. And I really think that knowing that one of those languages would have helped me to enjoy my experience even more. Now that I know Spanish, I know traveling to another country that I speak Spanish, I can really enjoy my time there and be part of that culture. And I think that it can help anyone with that also. Next is socializing. Not only do you have to leave the country, but here in the US, we have so many different cultures. We are a melting pot. There are people from Europe, from Asia, from Africa, from South America and Central America who all speak different languages. In our big cities, you will find all of these languages there. And being able to speak those languages here in the US, we can do more good in our society than we could if we didn't know those languages. Me being in Richmond, Indiana, there's a good number of people who speak Spanish. It's a great majority of Latinos. And being able to speak Spanish, I've been able to help people that I couldn't have helped before. And I've been able to make connections and make friends that I wouldn't have been able to speak to if I didn't know Spanish. My last and final reason, last but not least, feeling of accomplishment. Anytime I've been able to master something, whether it be dance, whether it be riding a horse, and now speaking Spanish, every single time I've had a feeling of accomplishment. And I feel that anyone who accomplishes or masters a skill is going to have that good feeling, is going to feel proud of themselves and feel motivated to keep learning. And so these were my reasons. There are plenty of other more reasons why it should be more important in school systems to learn a second language, but I encourage you to get involved because nothing will happen if you don't. So get involved with your school system. If you have kids, go and try and get them to teach your kids more languages. And if you're an adult who doesn't know a second language, go and start learning today. There are applications on phones, there's Rosetta Stone, and many other programs that will help you to learn a second language. I encourage each and every one of you to do this, and the benefits that come from learning a second language will be able to bless you and your family like it has with me and mine. Thank you.